Hey, I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm innocent.
Come on this way.
Huh?
You can see though, right?
I'm legally blind. I can see, barely. I'm innocent. I ain't do nothing. I don't know what's going on. All I know is my side of the story. I can't tell no other story. I'm innocent. And Mama, I love you. P.O.P. all the time. Right, these all good pimp squad, baby, for life.
Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Make no mistake. 1090 Jake has not had a break from Brother Blake. Even if we haven't been covering each piece of content, the 1090 Jake Exposed campaign has been going on. This one I found extremely interesting as I was listening to Brother Blake. Shout out Byron Blake, break it down this morning. Because, you know, 1090 Jake the fake snake is not only said he's turning his life around as far as he's no longer associating or affiliating himself with the black culture that is gangbanging and blooding. And he's going on more on the Marky Mark, getting baptized into the spirit of Charlie Kirk, leaving the snitch paperwork alone, although he hasn't. But he never announced he was going straight into crime fighting and case solving. However, it seems he has, and Brother Blake is highlighting this as a fact. So with no further ado, let's see what Byron Blake says. 1090 Jake, the fake snake, has continued to be up to.
Over the years, we've seen the Great White Blood attack several different artists and entities over their paperwork. You know, one of the biggest things, the biggest questions is why? You know, a lot of these artists, a lot of these people probably feel like, why? Like, what made 1090 Jake decide that he wanted to expose me? And the only conclusion that I could reach is he wanted money and he felt like nobody would care because these are snitches. Snitches are the bottom of the totem pole in the world. That, at least that's what I think the Great White Blood was thinking. But again, it doesn't take away the fact that he literally had no problem with a lot of these guys. A lot of these people never even heard of him until he decided one day that he was going to expose their paperwork. Stuff like that, it makes you wonder why, you know? So while doing my research on the Great White Blood, I ran across this video where he discusses how he actually feels about snitching.
This video right here finna be about snitches. There's really no further explanation than that. Rats, whatever you want to call them, it's all one and the same. I got a lot of experience with these type of people because I've been told on multiple times throughout my life. In fact, the case that sent me to prison, my co-defendant turned into a state's witness. The very first emotion you feel when you found out that you've been told on is anger. You feel betrayed. You want to punish that person. You want to punish everybody around that person, everyone associated with that person. You feel a hate and a rage because you're sitting in a cell thinking I might go to prison after this. Pretty much the only chance I had at beating this case revolved around you keeping your mouth shut and you're full-blown telling them everything.
All right, y'all. My bad for stopping right here.
Get him, brother. Get him.
Hey, look at this stupid look he got on his face.
Facts.
While he's saying this, he trying to look so serious in his comment.
To the square.
Come on now. I would see this kid at court sitting next to his mother because he bonded out and sitting next to his lawyer. And I just thought in my head, I wish I could punish all three of them. Him for snitching, her for creating him, and the lawyer for defending him.
So poetic.
Come on now.
Come on now.
With that said, the Great White Blood was very vocal about 6ix9ine being a rat, about him never working with 6ix9ine. I don't got to recap all of this stuff. Y'all seen it over the years. Y'all seen all the videos that he's made. in regards to that situation. We also saw that recently he did some content with 6ix9ine over on Trap Lord Ross's channel. I've noticed here recently, literally like the last few days, that most of his content has been 6ix9ine related. In fact, his last 3 videos have been about 6ix9ine or, related to 6ix9ine in some type of way. Maybe 4 of his last 10 or 4 of his
They're going to be full-blown collaborators. Watch.
last 8 have been about 6ix9ine, in fact. This is a long way from 6ix9ine being the poster boy for snitching and protective custody on the Great White Blood's channel. We also saw recently that DJ Vlad said 6ix9ine is the most money he's ever spent on an interview. Basically, letting us know that 6ix9ine has value in his eyes. And that's kind of the point of this video, because it seems that since Vlad has expressed that there's value in 6ix9ine, the Great White Blood is all over the 6ix9ine train. I mean, like I said, the last 3 videos that he's made have been 6ix9ine related content. Maybe,
Jacob Cherry like a mother.
He's feeling like 6ix9ine's name is buzzing because of the Vlad interview. I don't know. But like I said, this is a long way from what we used to see from the Great White Blood in regards to 6ix9ine. Now, I know he been all over the country in the Great White Blood mobile soaking up game, but this is a different type of game right here. I know, people have their little finesses and they try to make excuses for doing certain things. But once upon a time, he said that 6ix9ine content was way below his moral compass.
That was all cap.
At this point, we actually seeing the Great White Blood doing live detective work for 6ix9ine. We heard about 6ix9ine's house getting broken into lately. I want to run this clip for y'all. Check this out.
And apparently it's one of the Island Boys. Now, this is the actual footage posted by TMZ, and I'll get into my conspiracy theory on how they were able to obtain the surveillance footage so fast. But let's just take a look at the group of robbers, the home invaders.
When did 1090 Jake start doing this type of content? These regular simple reactions. It seems new. Seems humbled. I don't know.
Yo, Red. Yo. Y'all heard that? Let me rewind it.
That's Sherlock Holmes shit, man. What are you doing? Blood? Still got the B hat on. That's for Boston, of course. For Buster, big old Buster from Boston. Baked bean, boiled bum.
And that boy got a pistol with an extended mag on him. So they came ready for whatever, because you wouldn't need all that if you were just trying to steal.
Come on.
If you was just trying to steal, plus you came ready for whatever, how can that not be simultaneously true? We came just to steal, but we're ready for whatever. You just talking, just trying to incriminate him so bad. You just double talking, saying gibberish, bullshit.
Nah.
I'm not going to recap that whole video because it's crazy. But I did that just to show y'all what's going on. The Great White Blood has shaken his Great White Blood identity to become a YouTube detective. Flat out. If this were the case, you just brought this on your platform with millions of subscribers.
I guess he feel you can't beat him, join him. Damn.
And helped build the case. And again, we know that a lot of this stuff be on the internet and it be rumors and things of that nature. But I feel like the law enforcement people, they wait until it hits a specific platform to mention it because they know the length that these guys go to have exclusive information and content. So while they may have something that everybody else has, they're going to add their own little twists and point certain little things out just to make their content stand out more.
Super detective work, help solve the case. They doing their job. It's a team.
That's what the Great White Blood is doing here. You know, I think the Trap Lord Ross being mentioned in the paperwork in the Julio Fulio case, and we see the cop calling Crip chasing being mentioned in any case. The great White Blood hasn't had any mention since the Y&W Melly situation. And that kind of blew up in his face because clearly the prosecution was using you and they were using you for a reason. I'm interested to see if any of his followers or his fan base will call him out for this, because they attack everybody that mentions the Great White Blood with how real he is, how solid he is. He only mentions stuff that
Brother Blake is cornballs in the comments. They are not convinced or convicted to stand on principles such as yourself, man. Don't expect it.
that's black and white and in paper.
Oh, it ain't January. Okay.
Paperwork. In fact, I even heard him say before that he does not discuss open cases on his platform. But now we see him doing this type of content. Now, I want to run this clip for
That's crazy because I became a grandfather January 21st, 2020. That's the day my grandbaby was born. So while I was graduating in life to grander things, this is what Jake was up to on January 21st, 2020. That's crazy.
y'all of the Great White Blood explaining why it's okay for him to get on these public platforms and talk about people's cases.
For me, I mean, I really get most of my information from the courts. So it's like I try to speak on what the courts are speaking on, because that way I'm not giving anybody information that isn't already known or publicly available. But another thing with that is they only complain about the people that are accessible. You ain't never heard anyone that criticizes any of us go to Fox News or any other news station. They don't fuck with them. So it's like if someone hits me up and says, yo, can you take this video down? 100% I'll take it down. Just get Fox to take down their little clip of the same thing that happened. When they did take, if they take theirs down, I'll take mine down. But it got to be equal. Because fucking this news reporter that you've never heard of and never met in your life, she's profiting off of this shit, but I can't just because you can DM me and you're not going to DM her. Like, I'm not going to listen to that.
I don't know if it's just me, but here
Get out of here.
in the Great White Blood compare himself to a news reporter really irks me.
That's how happy these niggas be, especially the ones talking this gang shit and be up at the Fed quarters reporting and responding to shit. When they call it content, and once it's content, it's all clear. They talk about anything, no matter who it affect or offend.
Yeah, it really bothers me, bro. Aside from that, the news reporter is not out here saying that they are the Great White Blood, the greatest blood to ever be a blood in the Florida Department of Corrections. So they are not held to the same standards as you. But another thing that bothers me is when these guys say, well, I only try to talk about what the courts talk about, which is a direct contradiction to what we saw in this video, because nobody's been to court for this yet. But they say, oh, the information is publicly available. I always stress this. I'm going to continue to stress it. Just because the information is publicly available does not mean that it's public knowledge, because some people might not have caught that he said what he said in that video. Maybe he said Reg. Maybe he said Greg. Who knows what he said? But you emphasizing that he said Red while doing all of the other stuff that you were doing in that
Facts. You might as well be in the detective room with the boys.
video makes it crazy. Now, of course, I got my own theories about this, and I believe the Great White Blood was just trying to finesse the algorithm. Island Boys and 6ix9ine video, those are two names in a caption that are bound to bring you some views, especially when there's some type of crime or some action involved. And I think the Great White Blood was playing on that. But once again, this is not the type of content that you told us that you bring it, man. You came in the game with this whole image that you were trying to portray, and slowly but surely you are shedding that and starting to become more yourself. I even noticed he making videos almost every day now. He not even doing the little production style videos with the clips and the music going. He just straight up logging in. You see his
That's what I was saying. When he started doing that?
face reaction time. And I believe that's because he don't want to take the time out to try to make videos no more. He want to just jump on here, do something real quick and try to get some money, because he's probably realizing that the views are not, going up. They actually staying the same when he switches up the format. So that's just my take on it. But in any case, the great white blood is not sticking to his word. He is discussing a case that's not going on in the courts. And I know y'all probably like, man, why is he focused on this? Well, stay tuned for the next episode, because on the next episode of 1090 Jake Exposed, I'm going to bring y'all some information about another case that's open that he spoke on the internet, and it might wow you. With that said, though, I'm going to wrap this one up. Make sure you hit that hype button for me before you get up out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff. I appreciate it.
Make sure y'all go do that for Brother Blake. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that YouTube stuff. He like to ask for. 1090J, of course, he's cooked, he's fried. Image been died. Might as well throw him to the side. Just along for the ride. He has no pride. So his grandparents there at school?
Grandparents.
You didn't know I was your grandparent?
I know you're my grandparent.
You didn't know Popo meant grandparent?
Yeah, I know.
You know now, huh? I love you.
I love you too.
You gotta go sit down where you're supposed to sit with the kid.
Wasn't that personal. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.